This is another good one because this is the main thing that's missing. You can say in today's dry intellectual spiritual world or spiritual search is the actual recognition that of our source, that there's an actual source that we came from. Not belief. See, belief doesn't work. You can call it source, God, infinite, absolute, you can call it whatever you want, but is there an actual recognition of it? Not a mental belief of it. You see, a lot of atheists and agnostics, they don't believe in, it's not that they don't believe in God, they're just so sick and tired of the religious conditioning and the dogma and the rituals that you're being asked to do. They're like, no, I want to feel it. If I don't feel it, it's not real. I totally understand that. Some of us, because of grace, because of destiny, you get a taste of that. You get a taste of the actual presence of the Creator. You can call it whatever word you want. Remember, this isn't a dogmatic channel where you have to call it certain words. But there's something that's formless and something responsible for me sitting right here right now and for me even existing. There's something beyond human dimension. So some people, they experience that. They experience some taste of that. And then they believe. No, they don't believe. They know. Then they know after that. They're like, yeah, I can understand now when certain books and saints talk about a source. I can understand that because I experienced the actual presence of it. This is the whole point. We have to experience the presence of it. It doesn't do any good just to talk. Just talk. You know, it's like you can have the best speaker talk about God in the most eloquent way, but like there's no honey there. It's like I don't taste any honey or smell any honey or see any honey. Honey's the actual presence. It's like just some dry bot talking. It's like walking around with a honey jar that's empty, talking about how good this honey is or how bad the honey is. A lot of people think God, they curse God. God sucks. It's like, don't you know that like you can't even sit there and say that right now if it wasn't for the source allowing you to say that? So you walk around with this empty honey jar talking about how good the honey is. That's what the spiritual foo-foos do. But it's like, where's the honey though, man? I believe you, it tastes good. Yeah, I know it tastes good, but like, where's the honey at? Yeah, don't you see it? It's like here, like it's here. Like, no, I don't see nothing. So we're trying to discover here how can we actually, how can this be a conscious contact? We need a conscious contact with this power, this source power, this infinite being. I don't know if I should say being. That insinuates it's somehow some individual entity. This infiniteness, it manifests as both impersonal, because it's everything. On the deepest level, it's everything. So how can it be personal? If there's only you, there's no you. That's the definition of impersonal. But it also manifests as personal. This is what we want to contact. We want to connect with, the personal. You connect with that in the form of feeling its presence. It has to manifest as personal level because it created itself in a bunch of individual personal levels. So like in the last video, I shared about this warm current. That's the personal aspect of God or creation. We have to feel that. That's the presence. And when you feel that, you know without any question, and you don't need to explain it to people. It doesn't matter if they doubt you. You know, because like it's a real experience. That experience is not coming from the brain or the mind or the chemistry or the endocrine glands. You just know. This is like, well, this is next dimension. This is coming from something that like, I don't know what it is, but it feels very good and it's very stable. And it feels like this is where I came from. and people can talk about it in different ways, but it's a very solid, beyond conviction. Now the intellectualists that don't tell people who don't get it. You're just asking for trouble. These kind of things, it's like this channel, we're not here to debate things. This isn't about debating, it's about realization. Those who are too stuck in the mental level, this experience I'm talking about is not mental. Those who are too identified with the intellectual mind, they can't be convinced. This, what I'm sharing, this the recognition of this presence of our universal nature, that can't be sold to somebody. Because their mind, no matter what you say, the mind will say, oh yeah, but what about this? Or, oh, that's just your interpretation. Because they're talking about themselves. Everything they've experienced is a belief or an interpretation. What I'm trying to share is beyond interpretation. I've already said enough about it. Otherwise it looks like I'm trying to sell something. So I'm not. I'm talking to those who either you've experienced this already and you like it and you want to make it more pronounced in your life, or you have a deep natural knowingness that this exists. Your intuition's telling you that. It's not mental belief. It's not because you read it in the scripture. No, you just know. You just know, like, I have to be more than this little human bot self. Like there's something that's running this whole universe. It just has to be. You know that when this body collapses, that's not the end of you. You just know this. You know this without, you don't have proof. The mind wants proof. It's like, how can we prove something beyond the mind? All this physical proof that this world has, man, it's so shallow and superficial. There's layers and dimensions behind the physical that are really responsible for everything. Having an understanding to some degree of that makes this physical life more sensible and understandable. If you're only focused on just physical, you can't understand anything. And then the mind will come up with, it'll just be negative because it's not understanding a broader picture. We'll never understand the broader picture totally, but you can understand enough to where it's like, okay, for example, I got to make another video about something like life is beautiful and also brutal. Like why is life so beautiful and brutal or something? Because this is an issue that people have trouble with. Yeah, but how can God allow there to be murders and cancer and sickness and whatever? There's thousands of different forms that the dark side can manifest as. Their mind can't like wrap around that. Yeah, I know, that's the whole point. Your mind can't wrap around that. You have to go beyond the mind. But your mind can't go beyond the mind. It's about evolution, it's about timing, it's about grace. And then somehow you'll dive deeper without even trying to, and you might start to understand these things. When we have a recognition of our source self, to whatever degree that is, it's not a one and you're done recognition. It's not like, that recognition can also get deeper and deeper because that recognition is coming through the layers, the causal, the astral, into the physical, through the brain. It's coming through all of that. So that takes away from the total intensity of that recognition. It's got to go through all this crud. So that recognition, while we're in a form, can always get more deeper. But it doesn't matter. You've recognized it. That's the point. So when you're in that recognition or have that recognition, then these bigger questions start to get answered. How can there be murders and cancer and this and that? All these evil things, those things start to get answered. Something says, wait, no, you can't die, let alone get hurt, let alone suffer. Yeah, you can. I just seen the person suffer. Yeah, temporarily. There was a woman whose her son suffered really bad and committed suicide, and she also felt very pessimistic toward God. How can God let this happen? He was a good boy. Look how much he suffered, and then he died a horrible death through suicide. How can that happen? Like, you know. So, but then for whatever reason, grace, something allowed him to come to her in a dream. That's much easier when beings pass over. If there is some contact with them, it's much easier to happen when you're in a dream state, because your mind's out of the way. There's more pliability. Something from the subtle realms can come through. That's what plant medicine does too. It like calms the mind, or in meditation or whatever. When the mind's calm, then sometimes the astral dimension can pierce through. That's why sometimes you see certain lights and have visions, and it's not such a big deal. But this her son came through because there was some bond. He recognized that she was suffering. He's very sensitive. When he crosses over, you're very sensitive to these energies, particularly if you have a bond with the person. So he was allowed to reassure her. She said that he said, "Mom, don't worry about it. This is one little life. What's one little lifetime next to eternity?" He says, "I'm not suffering at all." So that was a temporary experience. That's what I mean when I say it's not real. Again, we have to define what terms mean, otherwise there'll be more confusion. My definition of real is something that's permanent. These experiences we have here on this plane, they're not permanent. The joy, the suffering, neither one's permanent. When this body expires, you realize that. If every being that suffered, when they crossed over, could somehow send a message out and say, "Look, man, everything's good, actually. Don't worry about it. Trust me. I feel sorry for you. You're there feeling sorry for me. I feel sorry for you, actually." You don't recognize the realm that we get to experience when this body expires. See, creation doesn't allow that. That would mess up the whole game. There's reasons, deeper reasons why all these things happen. And again, the mind can't understand that. That understanding comes when we go beyond the mind, when we're more in a state of recognizing this presence that I'm trying to point to, the presence of something beyond human dimension, aka our source. When we're in that presence, it's not like you got to wait to get in the presence to get a download, but when the mind's more calm, or when it's time for a download to come, you get a download. And the download that I'm trying to talk about here now is when you have a deeper, broader sense of things, you start to understand why what the mind conceptualizes as negative, why they happen. You see the lessons. There's lessons in that. There's realizations that come from such deep, hellish experiences. There's also law of karma and all these other laws too. That's what I mean. It's too broad. Like, you can't understand these things with the mind. The mind will just dismiss it. That's easier for the mind. Let's just dismiss everything and say everything sucks. Sisters are having fun. But those beings who are more further down the evolutionary ladder, you can't just dismiss that, because you know that's not true. Something wants to have some degree of understanding about these things so that you can relax a little bit. Yeah, this is what the channel's for. So beings like that, you keep persevering. You keep talking to God or searching in whatever way so that you can get some undeniable confirmation that there's a greater power behind everything that's taking care. Because you already know that. Otherwise, why would you even search it or look for the confirmation? So you must already know it, but something needs something. You want the feeling of it, which goes back to the title. I think I'll make the title something like, if God's not real unless you actually feel it. Like, you got to feel it. These beings want to feel it. They want to feel it, and you will feel it. and then listen to people like Yogananda talk or Anandamaya Ma, or real beings that have the honey. They're not carrying around an empty honey jar. You can look at them if you have subtle perception. Some people, they'll even look at them and say, oh, they're fake. You see how they're all different levels of consciousness on this planet. Very, very ignorant levels, and then higher levels, and then everything in between. So, we want to see how we can, this relationship with the personal aspect of the divine can be more actualized. Yeah. This is actually, at some point, this is all that's going to matter. The lifestyle habits that we talk about, yeah, that they're important. Preserving your sexual energy and good health, and or diet and good exercise and good company and good environment. All those things are necessary because the body's connected. Everything's interconnected. Astral body, physical body. The higher wisdom and knowledge comes through from the other dimensions. If the body's all screwed up and we're doing overstimulated and the mind's busy and all that, then that knowledge has a hard time coming through. So yeah, on practical level, we should take care of that. And this is why I wrote books on that and why we talk about that. But at some point, that won't be enough. May not be this life. Some might ride high on just having a healthy body their whole life, and they may be blessed with good genetics so that they just don't experience many pains or imbalances in the body. And then their mind will take the credit and say, yeah, because I'm really healthy and that's why. It's like, man, no. Yeah, that plays a part, but back to what we were sharing before, there's a deeper reason for things. You could be born with a body that's not going to be balanced no matter what you do. Why? What's the deeper lesson behind that? To go beyond the body, to realize what I was started to try to say a minute ago, which is at some point, either you'll have a super healthy body and still not be satisfied, or you'll have a body that can't get totally balanced and there'll always be symptoms and you won't be satisfied with that either. And so then this is when this strong inclination or spiritual software gets activated that says, I need to connect with something beyond the body mind. How do we do that? Still haven't talked about that yet. Jesus, man, 18 minutes. Yeah, but we have to set this background stuff first, I guess. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it. So how to connect with the personal aspect. Be real. This is first thing. Forget what you learned anywhere. You talk to the divine or God like a child. Why do we like how children talk? Because they're real. They haven't learned formalities and pleasantries and conditioning yet, or how to be diplomatic, or how to be professional. No, they just say what they want to say. They just say, look, I need this, or I want this. And there's an innocence to it, and they act real. Some of you don't lose that. You keep that your whole life, and then you get punished by society because they want you to be like a robot like them, but you can't do it. And yeah, good. You're in a much better spot. You don't have to act and be fake and everything after you leave here. I mean, you don't need to do it here either, but it'll be more appreciated in these higher realms. Here, you get rewarded for being fake and punished for being real to a large degree. So we like the kids when they talk because they're real. Okay, we have to talk to God like that. These super, philosophical prayers, ontological being of the universe, it doesn't work. It don't work. You just say very simple, like, God, I know you're in me. You made me, you created me. You put the yearning and hunger in me to connect with you. I need a sign. I need something. Just show me something. You might start to feel presence right away when you do that. But don't fake it. Don't act devotional or pretend that you feel something you don't feel. If you're doing that, just stop doing that. If you feel the presence, great. Then deepen it. Spend more time. But if you don't feel it, and a lot of people don't, then you have to start talking natural and just talk from where you're at. You just talk, you pretend like the divine's sitting right there and you like don't feel it, but you want to feel it. And so you say, look, divine, it doesn't make sense. I don't feel you. You're like the divine. How do I not feel you? You're everything and everywhere, and you represent what I am at the deepest level. How can I not feel you? I want to feel you. I want to feel the presence of you. And then you chill. You chill and you be receptive. And then you ask the divine to help make you receptive too. God, help me be receptive to you, to feeling you. And then you just do that. And you spend whatever, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, or as often as you can, you keep doing that. Most people don't feel it because their mind is so noisy. Their mind's making so much noise. And again, they're so caught up in desires and ambitions in life and this and that, and okay, God, help me make money, help me do this, help me do that. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's why these videos are for post-life people. People who've already done enough in life, experienced enough in life, and they're like ready to go to the next level. They've seen through life on an external form. Yogananda said once, he said, be like the little boy who cries and says, Mom, I want you. I don't want all your toys, everything. No, I want you. See, if that prayer is sincere and honest, you're going to start to feel something. And then you get your life together as best as possible without obsessing. You don't need to be some professional dry faster or water faster or go on some extreme cleanse. And, don't get so obsessed with the body. That's not the point. You want to get I talk about this in one of my books. You want to get the body into a semblance of balance. That looks different depending on the individual. There's some beings, we all have different karma. Some beings are in trouble from the beginning, man. Like their whole life, like they could be confined to a chair their whole life. And so you can't expect them. It's not like, oh, if they're not healthy and walking around, now they can't receive this darshan from the universe because they have a bad body. No, you got to listen to intuition. You get yourself together as best as you can. There's no rules, because then people start writing and asking me like, but what about this? Oh, but I take pills, and oh, I have this situation or this issue. What about that? I said, man, it's okay. You do what you got to do for you. You do the best you can do. Oh, but I have bad habits and addictions. Yeah, it's not like you got to wait till you get squeaky clean and become some, saint on an external level, which there's not many like that. They all pretty much have something, by the way. You don't need to. This is a misnomer the mind creates to try to keep you stuck. You don't need to wait for some special day or state of health before you connect with this. You just use common sense and do the best you can each day. And when you make mistakes and fall short, so be it. But whatever. You take care of yourself as best as you can on a practical level using common sense. And then in the meantime, you keep trying to feel this presence. You just, God, make yourself more real to me. And then when you feel it, when you feel this presence, stay with it. Watch how quick the mind wants to take off from it. It's almost like it says, oh, I feel the presence. Good, okay. Whew, okay, I gotta go meet this girl. 5 o'clock. Got the presence now. So, oh no, I don't have it now. What happened? Just had it. Okay, let me get it again. All right, God, can you help me feel the presence again? Because I'm like gonna meet this girl. Or why ain't the presence not coming now? You see, because we put something, this is what the mind does. Let me feel the presence so I can be more magnetic, and then I can go get more female attention, or I can go get more, make more money, and do, everyone's turned God into some kind of like emergency rescue entity. That's another reason why it doesn't work. If people are too arrogant and cynical and just full of, just heavy, man, negative, just ego, yeah, it's not going to work either. This works when we reach what works? Feeling the presence of a personal contact with the divine. This works when we're in a more humble, surrendered state, which usually comes after we got our ass kicked for a while through suffering. It's another reason why is there suffering? Why is there suffering? God would never have us suffer. If we didn't suffer, we wouldn't reach this humble state I'm talking about, so that then we can finally feel the presence of the Creator. And sometimes there needs to be more intense suffering than others. Depends how hard this ego shell is. So it's like at first God starts out as just a word. This is why I don't use the word too much, because it's been so overused and misused and shoved down your throat by the dogma and religious people, and it's like messed the word all up. That's why I say you call it what you want to call it. But usually at first it starts out as a word. We just hear it or read it. God, wow, yeah. But it means nothing. And then depending on which religious conditioning you got indoctrinated with, you might feel, there's one that's real bad. Some of these religions are masters, man, at manipulation, man, at creating and instilling such deep fear and guilt and shame. It's like, wow, you're gonna go to hell forever if you don't do that. Imagine. That's genius. That's genius to come up. Who came up with that? I want to find the priest that came up with that. So this is why people get a lot of brain damage around the word God, but it starts out as a word. We hear it, and then we start to, maybe some people feel bad or they're shame, because of the conditioning. No, I need to pray to God and pretend that tell people, yeah, God's great. Oh, I feel the presence of God, but really inside you don't feel it. So we need to actually feel the presence of that which we keep talking about and speaking about. Let me just make sure I hit, I hit everything, because I don't like when I'm done and then I look and, yeah, but we always hit everything. We want the presence to be felt. It's a current. It feels like a current that's moving through you. It's like the life force is God's messenger, because God's invisible. It's formless. So while we're in a form, we need to feel something tangible. And so then God manifests through all these levels. And by the time it hits the body, it's usually felt as a state of, you can say, just a nice state of presence or life force moving, some kind of warm current. You have to see how it feels and use your own words. That's the point. You articulate it however you want to articulate it, but the point isn't what we call it. The point is, do you feel it? That's the point. And don't lie to yourself, and don't lie to others. More important, don't lie to yourself. But that's why so many people are lying to others, because they're lying. The lie starts with their own self, and then they pass it on to everybody else. Don't lie to yourself. You tell God, I don't feel you. I hear all these people talking about that they feel you. I don't know if I believe them, but anyway, how can I feel you? I want to feel you. I believe. It must be true, because I've seen some of these beings. I've seen them. I've read about some, and I can feel the current and vibration in them. Like, they're not lying when they say that they know God or that they felt the presence of God. So why then can I not feel it? They can feel it. I don't believe I need to do 50 years of deep meditation to feel something that's already in me, that is me. You talk to God like this, natural. This will yield the best results. And this will complete the final, you can say, piece of the puzzle to this natural instinctive yearning for contentment that every human being has. The lifestyle habits and making money and doing this and that, looking good, yeah, games, that all kind of just wears off at some point. It just kind of stops working. There's something inside like needs something more. It's like, I need something more. I need to feel content on the deepest level. Otherwise, there's something like kind of looking for the next thing. There's something, you know? It's like, how do I just chill without taking Xanax or getting high? Isn't there a way just to chill? This is what the channel strives to do here, is share the end goal. That's the end goal. All right. So let me know if you have any questions. And try to make the questions good, and then if you short too, because I can't read so much through. You have no idea how many questions I get. I have, 1,000 videos amongst my channels, and they can get questions on any video. There's too much now. And if others see somebody, you can tell if somebody's asking an honest question. Help them if you feel. Don't give them dogma in your belief system, and you can't help it. Those that do that, they don't know they're doing that. So it's not like you can tell them not to do it. They'll say, no, I'm sharing the truth. So, okay. But you higher beings that don't maybe share too much, I understand. If you see somebody, because you can tell, man. You can tell if somebody's being honest and they're being vulnerable and they're sharing something that they want to see. Can I get some help? Then go ahead and respond and try to help them, because I can't do everything. And if somebody gets picked on by some arrogant idiot, then yeah, feel free to straighten them out too. But we're not going to turn the channel into some drama show, some MMA. You see how society's gotten so crazy? I've noticed. Yeah, let's end on a kind of lighter note. I don't know how light it is, but you see how when there's a fight now, the build up to a fight, I mean, they've always done this, but it's increasing now because they see how it works. It's all about money, always. Everything but money. So two guys are getting ready to fight, and then they want to create all this drama before they fight. How much drama can we create? How much hate can we create between each other? Because the mainstream like that. They live off that. That's where they get their dopamine from. Wow, these guys really hate each other, and now they're going to fight. They're going to try to kill each other, It's so silly. I mean, they can't... People, if they didn't have their dopamine, they'd probably suicide out. This is how empty people are. And so businesses know that. YouTube title, it's bled through now deep into the titles in YouTube. Let's make some high stake title, like, oh my God, title. Because the mainstream will click. See, I don't want the mainstream to click. That's the good thing I got going for me. I'm trying to weed them out. Videos like this and the last one, I think it weeds them out. So it's all good. God's running the show. All right, it's too hot here. I'm going to go. I'll see you.